Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche. And looking ahead, seeing that this coming Sunday is Earth Day, I can't think of a better way to celebrate than sharing with you about native plants. So, April is National Native Plant Month. And I think it's really important when we think about our home place to think about our natural heritage in the form of native plants. So, April of 2021 was the first time that April was designated as National Native Plant Month. Um, and we're hoping that that resolution will be approved very soon for 2023. I think it's interesting to note that the co-sponsors for this Senate resolution are bipartisan. And if you've never looked at this National Native Plant Month website, it's really interesting. They have lots of information, a fun logo that you can use to promote the month, different Senate press releases. So this would be when it's officially approved. You can find that. And under states, it has different native plant laws and proclamations that you can look up by state. So just interesting that native plants being important to our environment is in this bipartisan proposal. As a landscape ecologist and landscape architect, native plants are a particular passion of mine. So I'm pretty excited about April being National Native Plant Month. And I covered this in detail way back at the beginning when I started Mondays with Martha. You can check out Mondays with Martha number 4, where I talk about native plants. But I thought it might be helpful just to do a little quick review on definitions. So native plants, also termed indigenous plants, have evolved over thousands of years in a given place without human intervention. And they are adapted to the geology, the hydrology, and climate of a given place. And as such, they're just better suited to our local soils and weather patterns, and to support our native wildlife than non-native plants, and certainly invasive plants that can cause harm. And then just a quick review of all of the benefits of using native plants in your landscapes. They do not require fertilizers and many fewer, if any, pesticides to be able to survive well in your landscapes if you pick appropriate species for your particular site. They require less water than lawns and typical ornamental garden plants. They help reduce air pollution, both by taking up space in the landscape and that lawn might otherwise be used as a default and have to be mown, and having the air emissions associated with that, and by naturally removing carbon from the atmosphere, both in their above ground and below ground biomass, which often those root systems are just really deep and hold a lot of carbon through that photosynthesis process. So it's an easy thing you can do, a positive thing you can do to help combat climate change. Native plants are really important in providing wildlife habitat for our native animal species, both in providing food for them to eat and shelter, a place for them to rest, nest, breed, and reproduce and live out their lives. It's a great way to promote biodiversity, increasing the native plant diversity on your property. And again, I want to come back to that concept of natural heritage, that plants in a given place shouldn't look like plants somewhere, much, much further away in a different state. Plants have evolved in our local home place, and we should really celebrate them as part of our natural heritage. They can also help you save money through reduced maintenance costs. So once established, you'll be doing less weeding. You won't have to mow. Not using fertilizers and pesticides all the time to maintain plants will also save you time and money. And they're wonderful at improving water quality and soil health. So with those deep root systems, and when they're growing as healthy plants, they help increase infiltration of stormwater, which is a great, water quality benefit. Helps recharge the water table and decrease flashy flows in our rivers and streams. So next, I'd like to offer up some ideas of how you can celebrate National Native Plant Month and Earth Day. So you could find a Wild Ones chapter near you and get involved. Wild Ones is a native plant enthusiast, natural landscaping nonprofit that helps educate people about the use of native plants in their landscapes. So there are places where you can look to see how you can get involved. You can find a local chapter near you, and there's some great resources on this website to help you find other people who are native plant enthusiasts and learn from them. You can also celebrate by checking out some very helpful native plant websites that let you search by zip code to find native plants adapted to your local area. This is one of my favorite ones to play around on. This is the Native Plant Finder database, and it is focused on Lepidoptera, so butterflies and moths. And you can search the site, type in your zip code, and it will come up with the top native plant species. This is just a screen capture from Midland of flower and grass recommendations based on our native plant species that support as host plants the highest number of butterfly and moth species. And this is focusing on host plants, so the species that adult butterflies and moths will lay their eggs on and their caterpillars will feed on. Here's another great website hosted by Audubon. Their native plants database is also searchable by zip code, and it's a great way to understand what native plants are available in your area and what types of bird species they support. Once you've had a chance to explore native plants and your options for your area and the types of wildlife that they support, I highly recommend, as a great way to celebrate, planning on attending a native plant sale near you. So for my in-store customers, I'm planning to hold another 3 native plant sales this 2023 growing season. Here are the dates for that. And if you're not near us, you can use the Wild Ones chapter contacts and maybe your state native plant society, your local nature center, places like that, to find out where native plants can be purchased or special sales events that might be happening in your area this year. So last but certainly not least, you can plan on installing a native garden either in your home landscape or maybe even at your business or place of work. And at Nature Niche, we practice what we preach. I have installed a native demonstration garden out in front of the store. So I hope you enjoy these ideas of how to celebrate National Native Plant Month and Earth Day. Have a wonderful Earth Day week.